Hello, and welcome to Practice with Valid Studios. My name is Val, and I'll be guiding us through today's short and sweet flow practice. You might find it handy to have a couple yoga blocks close by, and then we'll start our practice seated on the mat. So maybe sitting on one of those yoga props, or maybe seated directly on the mat. Make sure you're comfortable settling down into your seat, relaxing the thighs, the hips, the shoulders, and the jaw. When you're ready, close the eyes, or pick a single point to focus on in front of you. Maintaining integrity through the spine, be mindful of your posture as you bring your awareness and attention to the breath. Notice the rhythm of your breath, the depth of your breath, inhales and exhales, and whether they enter or leave the body through the nose or the mouth, or maybe even both. Gradually expand the breath so that each breath is just a little longer, wider, and deeper than the last one. Scan the body, visualizing from the crown of the head down to the soles of the feet, taking note of any target areas of tension or resistance. And then a second scan, visualizing the body, noticing where attention, breath, and energy flow with ease and comfort through the body. Take note of what arises in the mind and in the heart, and take the time to set your intention for today's practice. Repeating it over a few times. Integrating it into the mind, the heart, the cells of your body. If you're not naturally doing so, see if it's available to pull the breath in through the nose and out through the mouth, maintaining a nice rhythm of breath, continuously intending to expand. Begin to roll the shoulders up towards the ears, back, and then down. A few times over as you wake up the shoulders, the upper back, the chest. After a few shoulder circles, allow the shoulders to drop down and away from the ears. Keep the chin parallel to the floor and turn your gaze right to left, and then left to right. Intentional movement, conscious movement. Take note of what you feel on each side. Is your range of motion the same on each side? Without expectation or judgment, you may notice that things aren't perfectly symmetrical throughout the body from head to toe. Just be curious as you explore sensation. Explore movement and breath. Let's bring the head back to center. Keeping the shoulders and collarbones parallel to the earth, drop your right ear towards your right shoulder. Realigning the head, and then left ear falls towards left shoulders. Keep tick-tocking the head side to side, a few times to each side. After a few repetitions to each side, we'll bring the head and neck back to center. Keep the hips soft, shoulders and jaw soft, nice tall spine. Inhale, let your arms sweep overhead, look up, reach up. Exhale, lowering hands beside you, spread your arms wide and look downward softly. 2 more times. Inhale, let your arms sweep overhead. Exhale, lowering. 1 more time. Beautiful. Coming in for a seated twist, place your left hand on your right knee, drawing a great big circle up, open and back with the right hand as you gently turn your heart to the right. Nice tall spine, relaxed jaw, relaxed shoulders. Look back behind you as far as it's comfortable. Take a full breath here. Keep your hands low to the ground. Slowly unwind out of the twist, heart turning forward. Immediately we'll transition, right hand over to the left knee. Left arm draws a great big circle up, out, and back. Heart turns to the left, lifting tall through the spine. Look back behind you. Enjoy a breath here. Keeping the hands low to the ground, unwind the spine, turning gaze and heart forward. Draw a few circles with the wrists, open and close the fingers a few times, bend the elbows, turn forearms, bringing circulation into the extremities. When you feel ready, place the hands in front of you. Start to walk the hands forward, shifting your weight forward. Hands will land under the shoulders and we'll send the knees behind us underneath our hips, coming into a tabletop. Once you find your tabletop, 3 cat-cows. Soften the belly, heart opens forward, tailbone curls up. Exhale, roll and round away from the earth. Tuck in your chin, navel, and tailbone. Soften forward, inhale. Exhale, round away. Last one here. Open into the cow. Round away into the cat. Recover to a neutral spine, coming back to table. We'll tuck our toes onto the mat and set ourselves up for downward facing dog. Fingertips point forward, elbow creases forward. Tuck the toes, engage your core, lift your hips up and back. Now this is our first inversion of practice, maybe even of our day. So take some time here, make some intuitive movements, maybe walking out the dog, maybe shaking out the head gently between the arms, reminding the cervical spine to relax. Remember to keep integrity through the spine, nice long spine, tailbone and sits bones reaches up and back. Find stillness in your downward facing dog if that doesn't already apply to you. Bend the knees, look forward. Now walk, hop, or step your feet to the front of the mat behind your hands. A nice generous bend in the knees. Let the upper body hang and dangle, finding your ragdoll. Take a full breath here. Let the hands and arms dangle. Very slowly uncurl the spine. All the way up to standing, we'll find our mountain pose. Head and neck, last thing to come up. If you're feeling lightheaded, keep your eyes open and your gaze downward until you're ready to lift the head. Arriving at the top of the mat, roll the shoulders up, back, and down, palms shining forward, anchoring through the feet, light through the upper body. Inhale, arms overhead. Look and reach up. Standing back, bend. Exhale. Realign and straighten. Lift up. Forward fold from the hips. Let the heart lead. Bend the knees as much as you need to. Inhaling, lift the spine halfway. Find a flat back. Exhale, fold over both of your legs. Take a full breath here. Bend the knees, lift from the back of your head and heart. Come all the way up to standing. Reach your arms overhead, look up, reach up. Once you're standing with arms overhead, lift the heels off the mat, rise to the balls of the feet. Exhale, lower heels to the mat, lower hands to heart. Make sure your core is engaged. Sit back into that imaginary chair. Take a breath here. Weight pressing into the heels. Slowly now take the bend out of your knees, dropping the head and heart as you fold forward from the hips. Standing forward fold. Inhale, come up halfway. Hands to the hips for extra support or wide out by your sides. Come all the way back up. Reach and look up. Exhale, lower the hands beside you. Feet together so the big toes are touching or feet about hip width apart. Anchor down through the feet, equal weight distribution in both of your feet. Let your arms sweep overhead. Inhale. Palms will meet above the crown. Lengthen up, crown shining upward, tailbone down, everything engaged. Keep equal pressure in both feet. Keep reaching up. Hips and heart will stay forward. Start to reach and lean over towards the right into your crescent moon. Back up to center. Inhale. Exhale. Lean towards the left. Keep length through those arms and spine. Back up to center. Inhale. Standing back bend. Realign and straighten. Forward fold. Find that halfway lift. We'll place our hands down to the floor. Keep your left foot where it is. Step right foot back to a lunge. Press equally in through both of your feet. Rise to a high lunge. Take a full breath here. Hips and heart forward. Visualize your right foot. Let the heel drop 45 degrees onto the mat. Warrior one. Take a full breath here. From here, we're going to open up to warrior two. Turn the heart to the long side of the mat, lowering arms parallel to the floor. Adjust your right foot 90 degrees so that your feet are on one single track. Head over heart, heart over pelvis. Turn your gaze to look over your left fingers. Left palm turns to face the sky. Lift your left hand as you lower the right. Exalted warrior. Back to warrior two. Arms parallel to the floor. We'll take the bend out of our left knee and pivot our left toes parallel to the right. Inhaling, lift your arms overhead. Exhale, hinge forward from the hips. Let the heart lead, wide-legged forward fold. Come up part way. Inhale. Exhale, hinge forward a little deeper if you can. Take a full breath here. Come up part way. Inhale. Find that flat back so your crown shines forward, tail points back. Let your heart lead. Walk your hands over towards your right toes. You may or may not reach your right toes. That's okay. Then we'll draw an arc across the floor. Inhale, walk your hands and heart back to center. And then over towards your left toes as you exhale. One more time to each side. Inhale, walk yourself back to center. Drawing an arc or rainbow across the floor. Walk hands and heart over to the right. Last time, over to the left. And once we've found our edge and limit on the left, we'll come back to center. Hands can come to the hips for extra support if you'd like, or rise with the arms sweeping overhead. Lowering the hands beside you. We'll heel toe our feet in just a little bit, narrowing in the stance of our feet, and then pivot your toes to the corner edges of your mat. Important here to keep your knees and toes tracking in the same direction at all times. Straight line from crown to tail, crown points up, tail points down. Bend into the knees, finding your goddess squat. Let's reach our arms overhead one more time. Now bend the elbows, bringing biceps parallel to the floor for cactus arms. Take a full breath here, really anchoring through the feet. Feel everything engage. Inhale, pull your elbows back. Let your heart lift, look slightly upward. Exhale, round the upper back, bringing forearms together and tucking in your chin. Repeat this 2 more times. Inhale, open wide. Exhale, round forward. 1 more time, open wide. Round forward. Recover to neutral, cactus arms. Take a full breath in your goddess. We'll now take the bend out of knees and out of elbows, pivoting our toes to face the front of the mat. Step forward to the front of the mat. Mountain pose, take a full breath. Anchoring down through the left foot, lift your right knee up, thigh bone parallel to the floor, hips parallel to the floor. No hiking up that right hip. Try to keep the hips level. Now place your right hand on your right knee, left hand on your left hip, pointing those toes of the right foot forward. Start to open your knees and toes out towards the right side of the room as best you can, keeping hips and heart forward facing. Turn and look towards the left side of the room if it's available. Beautiful. Gaze forward, right knee comes forward. Lift that right knee in, giving it a squeeze and a little hug. Up towards the heart. Release the knee, slowly with control. Start to kick your right heel back, bending into the left knee, arms overhead. Land as lightly as you can into your high lunge. Palms forward facing. Let's lower the hands all the way down to the floor. We'll step our left foot back to a plank. Adjust as you need to, maybe lowering knees to the mat. Inhale at the top of your plank. Use your exhale to lower through chaturanga. Inhale, lift the heart, gentle cobra, shoulders and elbows back. Toes to the mat, maybe press through tabletop first, then bring your hips up and back for downward facing dog. Take a full breath here. Bend the knees, look forward, walk, hop or step your feet to the front of the mat. Fold in half at the top of the mat. Bend the knees, lift from the back of the head and heart. Come all the way up with the arms sweeping up. Look up. Exhale, lower the hands beside you. Mountain pose. Arms overhead. Inhale. Once hands are overhead, rise to the balls of the feet, lift up a little taller. See if you can find a little more height and length. Exhale, engage your core, lower heels to the mat, hands together in front of the heart. Sit back into that imaginary chair. Heart open, shoulders relaxed, jaw relaxed. Forward fold. Take the bend out of the knees, drop the head and heart. Come up part way, inhale. Exhale, fold over both of your legs. While you're here, enjoy a full breath. Inhale, rise part way. Hands to the hips if you'd like, or out wide by your side. Come all the way up. Reach and look up. Standing back bend. Realign and straighten. Forward fold once more. Let the heart lead. Come up part way. Hands down to the floor. We'll step our left foot back to a lunge. Set up your foundation, press through the feet, rise to high lunge. Take a full breath. Visualize your left heel, let it drop to the mat, 45 degrees, hips and heart stay forward, warrior one. Opening up to warrior two, heart turns to the long side of the mat. Lower arms parallel to the floor, adjusting left foot 90 degrees. Straight line from crown to tail. Look over your right fingers, turn the right palm upward facing. Lift the right hand, lowering the left, reversed or exalted warrior. Warrior two. Excellent. Last breath here. We'll now take the bend out of right knee, pivot the toes parallel to the left. Inhale, arms reach overhead, lengthen up, equal pressure in both feet. Exhale, hinge forward from the hips. Let the heart lead, diving over both legs wide. Come up part way, inhale. Exhale, fold over both legs wide. Take a full breath. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Come up part way, inhale. Maybe using a block here underneath the face. Place your left hand underneath the face, either to the floor or a block, and bring your right hand to your right ear. Now, as best you can, try to keep both of your sits bones pointing directly back behind you, keeping your hips parallel to the floor as best you can. Let your right elbow lead. Start to open it up towards the right side of the room. Maybe it opens 45 degrees, maybe 90, maybe 180. If that's the case, you can lengthen your arm out if you'd like. Beautiful. Slowly lower right elbow, right hand down to the floor to replace the left. We'll bring our left hand to the left ear. Use your elbow, lead, opening it towards the left. Find your edge and limit on the left. Maybe lengthening the arm if that feels right for you. Reaching, opening. Lowering left elbow, left hand lowers to replace the right. One more time on each side. Right hand to right ear. Open right elbow out towards the right. Maybe opening towards the sky. And then lowering right elbow and hand down to the floor. Replace the left hand. Left hand to left ear. Lead with that elbow, turn and open the heart towards the left, maybe opening the arm and reaching towards the sky if it's available. And lowering both hands down to the floor. Maybe hands to the hips, otherwise arms out wide as you sweep all the way back up. Lowering hands beside you. Heel toe your feet in a couple of times, narrowing the stance of your feet. Toes to the corner edges of the mat, they'll point. Knees and toes track in the same direction. Straight line from crown to tail. You can maybe imagine that you've got a broomstick along your back. You want to keep that flat back and that engagement. Now bend the knees, coming into that goddess squat, and we'll place our hands on the thighs here. Thumbs forward, fingers back. Lean the heart forward, maintaining that straight spine, imagining that broomstick behind you. Excellent. Now let your right shoulder dip into center and look back behind you over your left shoulder. Bring the heart and gaze back to center. Now opposite shoulder in, left shoulder dips in, look back over right, and back to center. 2 more times to each side. Right shoulder in, look back over left, and back to center. Left shoulder in, look back over right, back to center. Last time to each side, move with the breath. Recover to neutral at center. Pressing into the feet, take the bend out of the knees and rise. Turn your heart to the front of the mat, stepping forward. Mountain pose, anchor down through that right foot. Then we'll lift the left knee and thigh. Best you can, keep those hips parallel to one another. Right hand to right hip, left hand to left knee, toes point forward. Now open your knees and toes out to the left. If it's available, heart stays forward, look over towards the right. Gaze turns forward, left knee comes back to center. Lift that knee in towards the heart, give it a little squeeze, a little hug. Slowly release, kicking that leg back, arms overhead as lightly as you can with control. Land in your high lunge, take a full breath. Palms forward, we're going to lower the hands all the way down to the floor. Step right foot back to plank. Adjust as you need to, maybe lowering knees. Inhale at the top. Exhale, lower the heart through chaturanga. Open and lift, find your back bend. Downward facing dog, hips up and back. Take a full breath here. Lower the knees down to the mat now. Knees together or apart, yogi's choice. Send your seat back towards your heels, melting head and heart down to a prop or the floor. Child's pose. Hands can stay long overhead or maybe lower hands by your feet. Take a full breath. If your arms aren't already long overhead, on your next inhale, lengthen the arms long overhead. Gripping the fingertips onto the mat, slowly peel yourself up to tabletop. Walking both your knees over to one side of the mat, let your hips fall to the other with the legs swinging forward. Make sure there's space behind you, and let's lower down onto our back bodies. We'll start with the knees bent, soles of the feet to the mat. Adjust your hips, shoulders, and head so that you're comfortable with space between your ears and shoulders. We'll then open our arms out wide into that T-letter-like shape. Feet together, hip width apart or a little wider. Start to fan your knees out side to side. Let them drop to the right and look over to the left. Everything realigns at center. And then over to the left, drop the knees and look to the right. A few more times to each side. Move as fast or as slow as it feels right on your body. One more breath here. And let's come back to center. Realigning the head and the knees, bring the knees in towards the heart. Place your hands on your knees and draw about 3 circles with your knees. Massaging the low back, the sacrum. After about 3 circles, reverse direction. See how that feels. After a few circles in each direction, come back to center. Wrap your arms around your legs and squeeze the knees in. Maybe lifting head and shoulders off the mat. Give yourself a great big hug and release when you're ready. Shoulders, head, and feet return to the mat. Slide your legs long on the mat and reach your arms long overhead. Give yourself that final full body stretch. Wiggle into one side, move the hands, the feet, the head and neck. Wiggle into the other side, whatever movements are needed here to find total comfort. Lower the hands beside you with the palms open to the sky. Maybe place support behind the nape of the neck. Check in with the low back if there's any sensitivity or discomfort. Place support behind the knees or bend the knees, bringing the soles of the feet to the mat. Release control over your breath. Enjoy a moment of integration. I'll guide us out of Shavasana in just a moment. So for now, let go and enjoy. Enjoy another breath or two just as you are. Then make the conscious decision. You can choose to end and seal our shared practice here, enjoying Shavasana for a little longer, or slowly reintroduce movement into the extremities, hands and feet, head and neck, arms and legs. If you prefer to rise to seal the practice, transition slowly from the back of your body back up to a seated posture. Take the next 3 full breaths to transition in whatever way serves you best. Otherwise, we're staying on our back bodies, yogi's choice. Whether you're staying on your back body or you've decided to rise to a seated posture, place the hands together over the heart. We'll seal our shared practice with a collective moment of gratitude. Repeat out loud or in the mind, your choice, 3 times thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Until next time.